Letter 324 by Charles Lamb, dated at end, 2 September 1823. Dear B. What will you say to my not writing? You cannot say I do not write now. Hesse has not used your kind sonnet, nor have I seen it. Pray send me a copy. Neither have I heard any more of your friend's Ms., which I will reclaim whenever you please. When you come Londonward you will find me no longer in Covent Garden. I have a cottage in Colebrook Row, Islington, a cottage for it is detached, a white house with 6 good rooms. The New River, rather elderly by this time, runs, if a moderate walking pace can be so termed, close to the foot of the house, and behind is a spacious garden with vines, I assure you, pears, strawberries, parsnips, leeks, carrots, cabbages, to delight the heart of old Alcinous. You enter without passage into a cheerful dining room, all studded over and rough with old books, and above is a lightsome drawing room, 3 windows, full of choice prints. I feel like a great lord, never having had a house before. The London, I fear, falls off. I linger among its creaking rafters like the last rat. It will topple down if they don't get some buttresses. They have pulled down 3, W. Hazlitt, Proctor, and their best stay, kind light-hearted Wainwright, their Janus. The best is, neither of our fortunes is concerned in it. I heard of you from Mr. Pullum this morning, and that gave a fillip to my laziness, which has been intolerable. But I am so taken up with pruning and gardening, quite a new sort of occupation to me. I have gathered my jargonals, but my Windsor pears are backward. The former were of exquisite raciness. I do now sit under my own vine and contemplate the growth of vegetable nature. I can now understand in what sense they speak of Father Adam. I recognize the paternity, while I watch my tulips. I almost fell with him, for the first day I turned a drunken gardener, as he let in the serpent into my Eden, and he laid about him, lopping off some choice boughs and sea, which hung over from a neighbour's garden, and in his blind zeal laid waste a shade, which had sheltered their window from the gaze of passers-by. The old gentlewoman, fury made her not handsome, could scarcely be reconciled by all my fine words. There was no buttering her parsnips. She talked of the law. What a lapse to commit on the first day of my happy garden state. I hope you transmitted the Fox Journal to its owner with suitable thanks. Mr. Carey, the Dante man, dines with me today. He is a model of a country parson, lean as a curate ought to be, modest, sensible, no obtruder of church dogmas, quite a different man from Southey. You would like him. Pray accept this for a letter, and believe me with sincere regards. Yours CL. 2 Sept. Your kind sonnet. Barton's well-known sonnet to Elia, quoted below, had been printed in the London Magazine long before, in the previous February. I do not identify this one among his writings. I have a cottage. This cottage still stands 1912. Within it is much as in Lamb's day, but outwardly changed, for a new house has been built on one side, and it is thus no longer detached. The New River still runs before it, but subterraneously. Barton was so attracted by one at least of Lamb's similes, that, I fancy, he borrowed it for an account of his grandfather's house at Tottenham, which he wrote some time later, for I find that gentleman's garden described as equal to that of old Alcinous. Kind light-hearted Wainwright. Lamb has caused much surprise by using such words of one who was destined to become almost the most cold-blooded criminal in English history. But, as Hartley Coleridge wrote in another connection, it was Lamb's way to take things by the better handle, and Wainwright's worst faults in those days seem to have been extravagance and affectation. Lamb at any rate liked him, and Wainwright was proud to be on a footing with Elia and his sister. As we know from his writings, Wainwright at this time was not quite 29. He had painted several pictures, some of which were accepted by the Academy, and he had written a number of essays over several different pseudonyms, chief of which was Janus Weathercock. He lived in Great Marlborough Street in some style, and there entertained many literary men, among them Lamb. It was not until 1826 that his criminal career began. Mr. Pullum, Brooke Pullum of the India House, who made the caricature etching of Elia. While I watch my tulips. Lamb is, of course, embroidering here, but we have it on the authority of George Daniel, the antiquary, that with his removal to Colebrook Cottage began an interest in horticulture, particularly in roses. Mr. Carey, the Rev. Henry Francis Carey, 1772–1844, the translator of Dante and afterwards, 1826, assistant keeper of the printed books in the British Museum, a regular contributor to the London Magazine.